Hello, everyone, and welcome. Happy, hope your Saturday's going well. This is Beer with Claude, kind of where I invite a lot of people. Hi, Lynn, I see you over there. I'll put you on in a second. Um, this is kind of my easygoing group call, just talking about the week, celebrating the weekend. I'm up in Winter Park, Colorado. It's a little town that's 12,060 feet. And I just took a run and I had to call my wife to pick me up. It was so cold out here. Oh my gosh. And what better way to ease the frozen bones than beer with Claude? And I've got an interesting beer here. One of my favorite beers is from Shiner, Texas. It's called a Shiner. It's a Bock beer, but I saw this in the liquor store yesterday. I was in Denver. And I'm going to try this. It's a Ruby Redbird, only 95 calories, very low in carbs, 3.1 carbs. Watch your carbs, right? We're going to have that. We're going to open up my beer, and Ben is here too. Hello there. Let me put you folks on here. Hello, lovely Lynn. Hello, lovely Ben. How you kids doing today? You going to watch me? Hello. You're going to watch me. Let's see. I think I need to use my state of Wyoming. There's a cowboy here. I'm going to do it right way. Wyoming cowboy. Both my kids went to the University of Wyoming college there and both graduated. Who do we have here? Aberrant Art. I love that name. What a great name. Happy Saturday to you, Aberrant. Or do I call you Art? What do your friends call you? We'll find out. Anyway, you guys gonna have a drink with me? I hate drinking alone.
I have my wine.
Oh, wine. Tell us about your. I have a bottle of Meiomi Pinot Noir upstairs that I'm gonna have with dinner, and I'm gonna talk about my dinner in a little while. What tell us about your wine, Lynn?
Oh, this is just some cheap stuff from the store. I'm in this other networking group with some other women. It's called Fem City, and we were talking today about having a meeting live in person with our wine. And I said, I only drink red and it has to be dry. But I said, if you put a bottle of $2 cherry wine in front of me, I'll still drink it. I lost my snobbiness with wine a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
I just won't drink white. That's all.
It's really funny. I've always loved wine. I always drank cheap wine. And take your sip before I tell you my favorite cheap wine. Or you want to guess? What is my favorite cheap wine? And I still love it. No. $2 no, actually $2 Chuck. That's from Trader Joe's, right?
Yeah, now it's $3 Chuck.
Actually, there's somewhere else it's still $2. Is that in California? No, it's $3 Chuck in California now. Trader Joe's red wines, their $3 Chuck wines are wonderful for the price.
Yes. Yes.
They're not bad at all. And but did you want to guess my favorite cheapo wine? College days, even today, I still buy a bottle every now and then.
Don't know, but I'm going to try it. You tell me.
Carlo Rossi Paisano.
Oh, okay. What kind is that? What kind of red wine?
It's just a cheap, semi-dry red wine. You used to buy it by the gallon for $4.99 a gallon.
My dad did that. We call it red wine.
I think it's 12. It's actually $13.99 now. And I still get it every now and then. But the funny thing is, my taste buds have changed. I love here. Aberrant Works has talked about one of my favorite wines.
Oh, that's good.
Apothic is it came out of nowhere 2-3 years ago, and Apothic is fantastic. You can get it on sale for $8.99. Some of the stores have it for $10, $11, $12, but Apothic Red, and even better than Apothic Red, is Apothic Crush.
Not had that.
Apothic, it's another one. It's a crushed wine. And it's a little bit more full flavored. Has a little bit more body in it, but it's very good. And yesterday we were in my favorite liquor store in Denver. It's called Applejack's. And two of my favorite wines, one is Butter Cabernet, Butter, and it was on sale for $12.99. and I got a whole bunch of that. And then my other favorite wine, woo, what was that? Was that you, Ben?
No.
We got a
Good
sound in the background here. It was called Meoni, Pinot Noir, Meini. Got it on sale. It can be like $20-something, and we got it for a very good price yesterday. Was it $17.99 or something like that?
When I lived in Milwaukee, there was a store there, like a little mom and pop chain, and they would have the best wine selection. You could find a bottle of $80 wine for like $15. And every week there'd be something different that you just have to kind of hunt for the deals. And I would buy those. And I honestly, some of them I didn't even notice, it's no better than this, so some are good. Just take your chances.
Wine is part of celebrating life, as far as I'm concerned. I love a glass of. I have a glass of wine every night with dinner. I just love it. I don't eat all day. I eat one meal a day. I'm a nomad guy. I have a normal dinner. Tonight I'm having this monster. Have you guys ever bought a chicken from Costco?
No.
It's like $4.99 and $4.99, $5.99 something. It's like a 2-pound chicken. It's huge.
Oh, the pre-roasted. It's hot.
The pre-roasted, yeah.
Yes, I've had that. Yep.
Oh my gosh! And so I chopped that all up and threw it in the oven with a little extra seasoning and everything. That's my dinner tonight, just to make you. I like talking about food and wine on Saturdays for some reason. Yes, the crush here. Aberrant says yes. The crush is tasty. The Apothic Inferno is pretty good too. I've never had the Inferno. All the Apothic stuff is great. Oh, I'll respectfully disagree, Aberrant. The Apothic Dark is so strong I can't drink it. It's just too heavy. It's too overpowering for me. But c'est la vie. Ben, bring us up today. What do you got? What do you got in front of you there?
Starbucks. Just
Nothing
finished
wrong with
running the dog, and then we're gonna burn the midnight oil here. And that's the deal. Yeah.
There you go. So I was in Denver yesterday. We worked on a deal. I picked up my new lease car. Did a little shopping. Nice. Yeah, we have to drive literally an hour and a half to get to Denver. We have to go over this pass where they blast with a howitzer for avalanches and stuff. And it takes about 35 miles to get over the pass with these little turnabouts in the mountains, and it's icy roads. And then we finally get on the highway to get to Denver. So we do it about once a month. It's what happens when you live in a little town in Colorado for the part of the winter. I'm looking forward to going back to San Diego or North Carolina soon. Like to be busy, like to move around a little bit. Absolutely. When's the best time to sell your car? It's a question I wanted to ask the group tonight.
Right now.
Right now. Tell them what, Ben.
Because they will buy you out, handsomely so. We have yeah.
You're right. Trade in your car right now because they have no cars. My car dealership, I've gotten 8-9 cars. I lease my cars. They had only 5 cars on this gigantic Cadillac, Chevrolet, Kia lot. They only had 5 Cadillacs. I ordered mine 5 weeks ago. And I got a brand new car. My payments were cut in half. I'll tell you why. And I put nothing down. I didn't even write them a check, nothing. 0 down, 2-year lease. And my payments were literally cut in half because they wanted my old car so bad. My 2020. They wanted that car so bad that they gave me a phenomenal deal.
Wow.
Having my salad.
Nice.
Always have a nice salad every night. Can you imagine a brand new luxury premium car loaded to the max? I mean, everything. And 0 down. And I cut my payments, actually less than half my payment on a 2-year lease. I've never had a car that the value of a lease, usually the value goes down, which is why I lease, corporate lease. The value actually went up $18,000.
Wow. Did you have to negotiate that, or did they offer it to you right away?
I negotiated. I always ask for a better deal. I said, you're going to throw in the extra insurance on it, the wear and tear insurance. I want you, you're going to throw in the OnStar and the Sirius, which they did. They gave me 8 months for free. The car's loaded. And then they gave me one price and I said, no, I'd like it exactly half. And with the taxes and everything, it's exactly one half of what so that made me feel real good. Don't we love a bargain?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So it was a good day. It was a very good day. I'm drinking a grapefruit beer here.
How is it?
It's different. It's okay. I don't think I'd buy it again. It's got ginger in it. It's grapefruit. It's only 95 calories. It's from Shiner Bock, out of Shiner, Texas.
That sounds like a summer beer.
Yeah.
I like dark beer.
Oh, yes. It's good. It's refreshing. It's a summer beer. You're right. You're exactly right. But it's okay. It's not bad. I'm taking notes on your suggestions, Claude. Okay. So that's a little bit about beer, my day, everything. Lynn, you were working on some deals, weren't you?
Yeah, did you see that voice text I sent you?
I saw it. I'm sorry I haven't had a chance to listen to it.
No worries. So I've got some deals that I'm working on. I have a lot of vacant land. So Claude, I told you I've got some in Tulsa. Well, I'm trying to move them. Well, I found someone who, of course, a realtor called me, and I know not to work with realtors, but it seems to be all that comes to me.
Whoa. What's wrong with working with realtors?
Oh, because they want quiet title. I'm trying to sell them as is with a quick claim.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yep. Because they're not worth it to sell full market. I mean, there's not a lot going on in the zip codes I bought them in. So Ben, just to let you know, I'm fairly new at this investing thing. I have a lot of education, but not a lot of experience. So I went to a tax sale with a big group of people last June. There was tons of people there, like tons, probably over 1,000. Bought like 9 properties, did really well at the prices, and we did a lot of research. I went with a group, so I felt good about it. But in the end, they've been tough to sell. So anyways, I dropped the prices down because I needed to just get rid of them. I got other things going on. So all I seem to be getting is these realtors that are inquiring on behalf of their investors. So then I have to educate them and tell them I'm selling them as is. And they're not, maybe they're new investors. They don't understand the difference between quiet title and quit claim, whatever. Anyway, so long story short, this gal called me yesterday, a realtor, on behalf of her investor. We negotiated the price. I'm like ready to practically give these things away. I had done a ton of work in terms of contacting the city and the county, cleaned up all the old liens that were attached to them, no grass cutting liens. I kept my grass cut, all that was done, had proof from the county that the mortgages, or I'm sorry, that I got proof of all the final notices that were sent to the previous owners, all the green cards saying they were confirmed receipt. I basically did almost everything other than the attorney work of, signing on this quiet title, because I was trying to avoid the fees of the title. Anyways, so I think, as of right this minute, I think I found a buyer, but I have a contract. So in the past, when I've done my own contracts, I write them myself. They sign it, they pay me. Once I'm paid in full, I do the paperwork and send it to the county. Well, it's always been a 1Z, 2Z thing. And so this time I have 6 lots that they're interested in purchasing, which will wipe me out, which will be great. I can get it off my back. My question is someone in this group willing to look at my contract, because I've never done multiple. So what I have is just a standard contract that I know works. But my question is, instead of within the body of my contract, I put the address, parcel number, size, legal description, and whatnot. And on this piece of paper, I listed all 6 lots as an addendum. Is that okay? Is that acceptable? You don't have to read them all, but it just basically is it's an addendum to the contract property 1, detail, property 2, blah, blah, blah. Is that something that you would do? Like, how would you handle more than one lot in a contract? I mean, talking about 16 grand here. It's not $1 million. Any advice would be so much appreciated.
So you're selling all the properties to one person in one shot, correct?
That's the goal, yes.
Okay, so you've used an addendum, a Latin for add-on, to list all the other properties with their actual description and their price.
Correct. Well, not an individual price, because in the body of the contract, I put what I said was sale of the property, seller for and in consideration of the sum of $16,000 does hereby convey and grant to the purchaser all the following lands and property. Attached addendum for detail.
Okay, you're selling all the properties for one price.
Correct.
And you've reflected that price in the very beginning on the first page.
Correct, but the detail is in this page.
And you refer to the sale to the addendum on that first page, and
yes.
This property and all the properties listed in the addendum.
Yes.
Okay, and it says page 1 of 1 and page 2 of 2.
No, but I can do that.
Okay, well, you could make it all together in one contract, and both if it's an addendum, signatures on both pages.
Okay.
You can do the addendum. I would have made it all into one contract. An addendum is fine. It's just something you're adding on to after the fact, but you're doing this during the fact. So you could easily make this into one contract, but it's fine. As long as
do that.
Yeah, well, I think the way you did it is fine. As long as you have the property description, the parcel or tax number, the PIN number, whatever they call it, on there, I think you're covered. I think that's fine. I had a great professor in San Diego in law school, and he said, we got to get away from these long, complicated, these long word, heretofore, therefore, after kind of verbiage. He said, why don't we make our contracts simple? As long as you have the name of the parties, the buyer, the seller, the description of the property, the price, the date, what is the payment or the purchase price or the consideration for the property. This is a unilateral contract, I believe, and it's signed with specific dates of performance. I think you're fine.
Yeah, and that was another thing I did because I hadn't done it previously and I got burned. So what I said was, and the time of the essence part where I said payment of 16 grand must be received in full by what we decided was going to be Monday at 5 p.m. or this contract expires and becomes null and void.
I love that. Thank you.
Okay.
Round of applause. Put those expiration I had a negotiation today. I talk to a lot of people every day. My rule of 5. For those of you just listening right now, because we're on Facebook and Twitter and Twitch and LinkedIn and YouTube and probably a couple others areas I don't know. One of the things I always put is when I expect to be paid, the time of performance, and the expiration date of the contract. And also, in many cases, when I'm the buyer of the contract or I have to perform, I put an extension clause in the contract, especially on a lease option contract that I have to close before the end of February. Well, say a lot of times you need extra time for the contractor to inspect or the title insurance and title inspection and all that. So I put in usually an extra 30, 60, or 90-day extension clause in the contract. And I give them consideration on that to make it legal. As I am utilizing my extension clause, I will pay you an additional $500 for that extension. So I can't tell you how many times that saved my bacon because I did that. But you're doing it the other way. You want them to close and pay. Have they given you any earnest money or option money or any money up front?
No, this conversation literally just started yesterday and she's speaking with the buyer. And so I had him listed at $3,500 and then I said, I'll throw it in for free. They saw my list or my ad on Craigslist. And then it became 6 because those other 2 were taking too long. And then I said, well, I'll give you another $1,000. So it came down to $16,500. And then of course the negotiation started and the guy wanted for 15. I said, I can't do that. I'll do it for 16. And that was my final offer. But with that, I gave all of my documentation from the city and the county. And I said, I can attest to all this stuff call them yourself if you don't believe me, whatever.
And what do we call all that documentation? You and I spoke about that, I think, on Thursday.
What do we call the documentation?
Yeah, the documentation, the pictures of the property.
Oh, prospectus.
The new word, prospectus. Ben, do you know
Yes.
that word?
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe when I'm doing, especially real estate or any business, when I'm talking to somebody and we're negotiating, but they need more, they need more visual. I will send them a video or a link from YouTube on the property. A lot of times I'll have somebody, well, I'll do it myself if I'm nearby. I'll take a video and I'll make it into a private video, upload it to YouTube, and I'll send people the link, my investors. Here's the property. I'm looking to sell it. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,800 square feet. It's 3 blocks from the college, or it'd make a great Airbnb. And I'll just take my iPhone. I'll make a little video. I'll edit it a little bit in QuickTime, which is a Mac, a Mac editing for video and audio. And then I'll upload it to YouTube. And it won't be in the general public. It'll be just a link that I send to my investors. And so they're taking literally a walking tour of the property. Make sure you had your cleaning person. You had your cleaning person in there first, or the landscaping and the grass cut. And you just take a little tour, and the visual is really strong with people.
Yeah.
And you put that together with maybe an estimate. If you had a contractor check out the property, if you have a preliminary title report, and if you have something very important called marketability. It's 3 blocks from the bus stop. It's 2 blocks from the college. It's you can walk to work if you work at the courthouse. These are the things that really turn on people.
That's a fact, and that video imaging is becoming the standard, even in pretty homes, as we like to say around here, and quite expensive homes. But what I like about that is, my dear uncle, who was a practicing attorney for a good long time, used to say he used to say to me, Benny, act like you give a what. Mm-hmm. And that's what it shows. I sent you this. If it as they say under audit, it shows that you were paying attention. You're not trying to hide anything.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Good. What a good lesson.
Yeah. So with that
Go ahead. I was gonna say the other thing I did to sweeten the deal was I said, and I found a wonderful person to cut my lawn. He goes out and cuts it. He calls me when they need it. I don't have to lift a finger. He's reasonable. Basically saying, I will sweeten the pot and give you this man's contact information. I didn't say it, but I kind of made her think like, if you buy this, I will also throw that little bit in there for you. Because the first person when I bought these lots charged me $250. Then I found someone to pay $25. Tulsa's nuts. So I just was trying to dangle some little carrots in there, extras, add-ons type thing. So we'll see.
I'd say stick to your guns. It's working. I really think as a former California broker, I think you're going to be just fine. Way to go on that. And the other thing is that I like to have, especially in my construction stuff, what's called an arbitration clause, which talks about how we're going to settle it if it goes sideways.
I had to sign one. I had to sign one yesterday, Ben, for my lease.
Yeah, let's talk about how if we get into a fight, let's talk about what the rules are going to be.
Yeah,
that's going to save you a lot of headache.
The General Motors Cadillac forces me to go to arbitration if I ever have a problem. I don't like arbitration. I want to go right to court.
Can you expand on that, Ben? Because, for instance, I had
I think Claude could probably best speak to that.
Oh, someone. Because, for instance, I had 2 lots under contract with someone. And I told you this, Claude, back in October. And then it became, we got to do this quiet title and blah, blah, blah. And it was 4 months later. What could I have done in that situation? Would this arbitrage worked in that scenario? Because I don't know what you're talking about here.
Arbitrage is where you get an intermediary, and you sit down, and this person tries to work it out. They act like a judge, basically, Solomon kind of thing, and they try to work it out for you. In my experience as the investor, I'm usually the bad guy. Okay, because I'm usually dealing with somebody who didn't make their payments or something like that, and I'm portrayed as the guy who's was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Untrue. Okay.
Mhm.
And they're the poor family that had troubles and hard times. So I'm always forced into that bad guy defensive position. I don't, so arbitrage doesn't work well depending on your bit. This is subjective. Anybody who's listening can disagree with me. I'd rather go right to court, use the law, use my contract. Why? Because I have nothing to fear. I try to do business honestly, ethically, the right way. I don't take shortcuts. Ben, what you said earlier, I made a note here about was it your father, your brother?
My uncle.
Your uncle, excuse me.
Yeah.
About transparency. I believe it's kind of a cute word that's popular today. It's just being honest and straightforward with people. I tell them what's wrong with the property, the shortcomings of it. I tell them why I'm selling it. When I do a wholesale deal or an arbitrage assignment deal, I tell them the price of the contract and show them the original contract. I don't think a lot of people do that. I actually negotiate the best deal I can by showing them what I got the contract for. Some people take umbrage with that. Well, you just got the contract, and it says here you got it 3 days ago for $50,000, and now you want to sell it to me for $100,000. That's not right. I said, well, sir, you're going to make $100,000 on it. I just don't want to do the marketing, the repairs, and everything else on it. So,
and you don't have to double close then either.
Yeah. So you have a contract. You're getting the benefit of my research, my time, my efforts, and I'm entitled to that 50,000 profit. But you can also, I need to close on this thing before the end of February, and the clock is ticking. Would you like to make me a counter offer? See, time is the most valuable thing. And if I have 3 months to sell the contract, I'm going to get the 50,000 assignment wholesale fee. But if I've got today's February 5th, for instance, if I've got another 18 days or whatever, 17 days, and the clock is ticking, I might discount what I want originally. Mm-hmm. Time is a factor, wouldn't you? Would you agree?
Yes, for sure.
Always. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, the differentiation is also, speaks to your character. If they get 100 calls of people going, this is the money maker, this is the lottery ticket, let's go, and you're the one who shows up and goes, this is everything that's happening, and and I'm telling you about it, and this is where I stand. Are we good? That's nothing but good is going to come from that.
Exactly. I'm very straightforward to people. This is what I got it for. This is why I can't do it right now. I'm working on 3 other deals, or the money, maybe the money isn't there, or whatever the reason is. I'm totally transparent. I even show them the original contract, as I said, pictures. I'll go to the trouble of checking the title. I'll go to the trouble of having a contractor give a list of what the costs are on everything like that. And so I'll sell it. It's got a 50,000 purchase price. I'm selling it for 50,000. That's 100,000 to you, but you're going to make 120 on it once you fix it up and market it. And that's open to negotiation if they have the liquidity, which is when I'm qualifying people, the first thing I say is, do you have the liquidity to do this deal this week? And what I'd say about 50% of them, when they don't have the money, guess what they do?
Hamana.
Yeah, hamana. Yeah, they change the subject. That's my $10 word, obfuscation. I even have a T-shirt. I think I had it on last week. They change the subject, or they don't answer. When someone doesn't answer a very simple, basic question of negotiation, that should be a clue to you that they don't have the funds. available. And you got to listen carefully. When you usually pin them down, well, listen, I just asked you a question. You never answered it. Well, I probably can. I'll have to look into that. I'll have to do some more research. I'll have to check my 401k or whatever. That tells you they don't have the money. And don't waste it. Don't spend another 90 minutes on the phone with them.
Oh,
Qualify for, I say be transparent. I don't mind if someone knows my profit. Maybe that's unique. Okay. But I feel if I've got a good deal and someone else is going to make even more money than me for the work and everything, I'm entitled to, I don't think I have to be ashamed of the profit I made, whether I found the deal yesterday or a year ago. Doesn't matter.
No.
That's just maybe that's just the way I feel.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it because if you say 50, but in your head you would take 40, now you've negotiated down to what you want, and hey, everybody wins. They feel like they got a deal.
I would have taken 35.
Right.
Okay.
Whatever. But yeah.
So when you do a deal like that, when should you get paid? $1 million question. Today, or get non-refundable. Put that in your agreement. Non-refundable. So if they want to go through escrow or the attorney or everything like that, and then 2 weeks later they can't find the money, or they change their mind or something, or they got scared, they lose their earnest money or their option money or whatever security they put down. You've got to put that in writing.
Yes. Okay. So that brings up another one I did with another guy that he owes me. I did payments with him, and it was small. It was like $4,800 he owed me. And right now he owes me $1,500 still, and he's late on his last month's payment. I don't want this property back. So I'm willing to work with him, but I told him if he pays me by February 15th, he owes me $1,100 by the 15th, and then he'll only have one more payment. So I'm encouraging him. I'm like, oh, you got this. You got this. I'll waive the late fee of, I don't know, $50, whatever it was. I don't care about that. I just want this thing off my books. And so if he doesn't come through by the 15th of February, what do I say? Because he doesn't have the money, but I don't want this property back and I don't want a problem. Am I weak if I say, okay, I'll give you till I do not want to prolong this.
I tend to, because I have because I studied law, I tend to be, I'm very fair. I'm very upfront with people. I understand situations and things like that happen. If they're supposed to pay me $5,000 and something happened, their kid, they need a tuition payment for their kid's dental college, and it's a one-time exception, I'll accept a partial payment. So instead of $5,000, I'll take $2,500 for this month only, and then the next month we get back on. What a lot of people do, hey, can I skip this month and the next, and then it turns into the next month and the next month. It's like training a dog. You got to be consistent. So what you do is you say, okay, listen, if this is your boo-hoo story, I want a partial payment this month, and then we go back to regular payments or the total amount you owe me next month.
Do I create a new contract?
Hard on people. I'm pretty tough on people on a long-term note or contract, a sales agreement.
Yeah, I mean, do I write a new contract then if the payments change, or is this all just via text?
No. Don't change the contract. Stick with the original. This is what I stick with, the original contract. But what you're doing is a one-time, and you can do a memorandum to that. This will be a one-time change. Okay. And if we both agree, please sign or initial on the bottom that it'll be $2,500 this month and back to $5,000 a month next month.
Yeah. I considered saying what's the most you can pay me, or what can you afford? And I didn't want it to be $50 and have to, but then of course he got COVID, or told me he got COVID, and I don't know if he did or not.
Here's my rule I got from my mentor. The nicest person gets paid last or not at all. Yeah.
But he's paid off 2/3 of this property, so it's in his best interest to pay me. So
exactly.
I got the money. So
is he ignoring? Here's the other thing if someone negotiates, people have problems in situations. If someone this is my biggie. If that person stays in communication with me.
Yes, he is.
Okay, that's a good guy.
He thanks me up and down for working with him. He came to me and he said he was so embarrassed to have to come to me and ask me that. He was like, like stripped of his manhood. And for me, that's a huge thing. I don't want to do that to any man. I want men to be men. And we aren't having enough of that these days. So I said, please.
Oh, say it again. Say that again. I love that. Men should be men. Oh, what is that? Oh my gosh, we're getting we're being so unwoke here today. But I love that.
Look at my shirt. Living the dream. I want men to be men, and I do not want a man to feel inferior to me ever. I want him to know that it's good. I'm not judging you. I just want to get paid. And I even said, I said, as long as you're not taking advantage of me, I'm good. I'm totally reasonable. So long as you pay me, whatever. I'm probably too easy with this stuff, but it's $500, it's not the end of the world.
Well, one of the things that Claude talks about often, Lynn, is adult to adult conversation. And that goes with communications. Yes. What's happening here?
Yes.
The other thing about that particular negotiation that I would consider is I would say, you know what? I understand. Here's an option. Since we're going to carry this a little longer, and it is an obligate, we are both obligated a little longer. We're going to incur a little more cost here, but I will work with you.
I'll work with you,
and that brings out a lot of stuff. Do they have Are they as they say in Yiddish futzing around, or is there really a hardship?
Yeah. Well, yeah. This particular guy in the beginning, he was one of my first callers, and he asked to buy all my properties. And then he said, I forget the exact words he used, but something like, "Oh, do you want to like split the cost of the construction?" And I was like, okay, clearly you don't know. I said, I'm not building anything on these. I'm not partnering with you in that way. I'm just, trying to unload these lots. So I could tell he was a novice. So it went from 9 down to 2 to 1, and then he didn't have money. And so again, these lots are cheap, and I don't want to get into the weeds of, fees and all these other things. Cause he did say that if he paid, he was going to try as best he could to pay me this, $1,100 by the 15th. And if by February 15th, next week or whatever, he doesn't pay me, then I'll consider some other kind of hardball. But right now, I really just want him to pay me and be done, and I want these people to do well with these lots. Whenever I do something, I want people to be left better than me. I want them to make more money than I make on it. Beer number 2.
Beer number 2 from Shinerbach, Texas.
That's a real beer.
That's a nice. That's a
okay. Men need to be men, Claude. Don't drink that fruity stuff.
No, I like. The truth.
I like a little citrus.
A lot of. I want to keep my girls.
Okay.
I want to keep. I'm going to say this because we all look fit here. I do what the doctors say. I watch what I eat. And when I eat and how much I eat, and I exercise every day. So during the week, I'll drink a low-calorie beer. I like beer, and it's the weekend today, and I did 10 miles, so I'm going to have my regular good old Shiner, which is a wonderful dark. This is a dark beer. It's not a heavy German beer. It's very good. I love some of the things you said. Holding people accountable. We're in a society. This is where it gets dangerous. This is what happens when I drink and talk and do a thing. It's like sodium pentothal to me. The thing is, I believe in holding people. I believe character matters. I believe accountability matters. When I make a promise to someone, I keep that promise, even if it costs me money. If I made a mistake, if it's something I really screwed up on, I will apologize. I will say I did it wrong. This is my mistake, not yours. I think we need to get back to those good character traits in business. What's the number one reason you become successful? People like and trust you.
Yes.
You blow away, you totally destroy your competition, which maybe, I say this all the time, they may be spending more money on advertising, employees, fancy offices, cars, all this frou-frou, super duper looking web pages with special effects. But when it comes down to it, who do you want to do business with?
That's right.
Yep.
I think that's important. Go ahead, Ben.
I have another relative who is he's an old timer now, but he's an accomplished recording artist. And when I was a boy, he used to say, because he would stop and he would be good to everyone. He used to say, you got to be kind to people on the way up because you're going to see them on the way down. Yes. And in the end, when it was The record companies took his phone call. The rest of the guys in the band, not so much.
He was low maintenance, and they like that. They like people who are low maintenance. You know, this whole Hollywood thing. I live in California, La La Land.
That's it.
My daughter lives in LA. She does voiceovers. She's done voiceovers for Intel and for Old Navy and everything. Yeah. She's doing fantastic. She's doing the Intel commercial right now. And she's on time. She practices her lines before she gets there. She knows she can do it in just a few takes. And that's why they pay her the money they pay her to do these voiceovers, because she gets it done. And she even interviews them. What are you looking for? What's the message you want to get across? Do you want me excited? Do you want me, what kind of, how do you want me to sound on this? And that's, people, when you make life easy for other people, it's like yesterday, just another car story. I'm sorry. How many times have you ever bought a car or leased a car and you're in that dealership for 3, 4, 5 hours? I've been in those dealerships. I told them, I know the car I want. We've already negotiated the price and the terms. What paperwork do you need from me? My driver's license, my old registration and everything. They had all my financials already because I said, I want to be there at 10. I want to be out at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
Guess what time I was done?
11.
10:50.
Nice.
All the car was there. It was clean. It was ready. Full tank. Took it for a 10-minute test drive, came back in, took me right to the financial guy's desk. Paperwork was laid out, signed it, out. 50 minutes.
You know what I love about that? I like that. I love that. That shows that things can work. And all that other stuff that we go through and happens is unnecessary. Good business is good business, not brain surgery.
How many companies, as I get more mature and I use more hair dye, that I find that my time becomes more. I'll lend you some, man. I need a haircut real bad. The thing is, Mike, I like companies that have great customer service. I love Verizon. I love Apple. I love Cadillac because when I call somebody, I get a human being. I did OnStar today. I put the little button in the car. I got this amazing person on the phone. She helped me through all the steps. OnStar is complicated because I get Wi-Fi. Then I got, and I get emergency services and everything on it. And it usually takes about 45 minutes. And this woman got me through in 15 minutes. Yeah. With the whole setup on the thing. There's so much electronics in cars today. I want to answer this question real fast from Abernard. He's been waiting. When dealing with land, how do you comp it? And what due diligence items do you look for? You guys want to answer that question? What do you look for when you're comping land?
Recently sold. Anything recently sold, look at Zillow or whatever, PropStream or whatever you have.
Right.
And then go off of that. Due diligence for that, I would go to the county records, kind of like I said before, get the information. What really helped me, I think, and what lent credibility to me when I was telling this realtor on behalf of her buyer, when I said I have all this documentation, this just was a side benefit. Within that body of those emails, I was very polite and respectful to the people I was dealing with, then showed my character, not knowing it was going to come full circle. And also within that, I said, that I have other buyers that I'm trying to sell to quickly. So they know that right away there's other interest. Again, that was just a byproduct of them seeing that, but it wasn't me saying it. I was telling someone else that from a third party perspective. So having that due diligence, having your emails and things you can supply. But land is a hard one to comp because sometimes you don't have land sales.
Land it's hard. It's not always comps. Ben, you're a broker. Well, what's the best way to comp land?
Well, if the best way, if you have the luxury of doing so, is, and I did that. I bought a canyon lot above the ocean once, and there was really almost nothing to go by. But I had worked a project many years prior, and the land and the lots were quite similar, and I went on that. I said to myself, if it happened there, it very likely can happen here. And I came back the next week and somebody offered me double what I paid for it.
Beats working for a living, huh?
I held it.
Okay, then I got one for
I
you.
held that thing.
Ben,
There
I
you
got
go.
one for you. I have a whole bunch of other land over in Arkansas. Claude, you
Mhm.
know this a lot. 2 different communities, Hot Springs Village and Fairfield Bay. I bought them off the Commissioner of State Lands cheap, but I'm having issues selling them. And what do you suggest I do in that situation? Sell as onesie twosies? I mean, the prices actually, I think it's Hot Springs. No, one of the two, maybe it's Fairfield Bay. They're selling at like $5K, but I have 48 total lots, just to be clear. What would you suggest I do in that case?
When you say you're struggling with them, what's the nature of that? You just holding them too long?
Well, okay, so I've got them in. I got the deeds in August, and they all carry POA fees, which is the thing that's killing me. And I need to unload them quick because I need capitals. That's why I'm getting rid of the Tulsa lots quickly. And I also need to move on to do other things. So I had someone helping me because I was like first I was overwhelmed by the 48. I'll just be honest with that. So I was having another wholesaler help me, a very hungry realtor trying to find people, investors in Arkansas to help me. And nobody was wanting them because, well, they do have some title issues, like anything, right? But I'm trying to sell them as is. I'm not trying to make $1 million on these things. But and I did find that in Saline County and Garland in Hot Springs Village, there is a huge need for developers or anyone to build short-term rentals because they don't have any. I mean, that is a prime real estate right there. They have the #1 golf course in the country. They have well, Claude, you like this, the theater, like professional theater and all of this. It's a wonderful place, but I can't figure out why nobody wants them. Now, maybe I was trying to sell them at the wrong time because it was Christmas time. But then it seems to me that everybody that wants land these days always wants that quiet title, which I'm not paying quiet title. I just want to unload them and let somebody else do it. So what do you say to that?
I think you've in parts answered your own question. Everything there is those are components that will work for that sale. Put a prospectus together and get it to those developers. It's a place to start.
And hopefully,
I don't know the developers.
Get the word out.
How do I find them?
Yeah.
Early to bed, early to rise, work like hell, and advertise. You've got to put, you got to get it out there, and you've got to entice somebody for the same reason you bought it. Why does everybody do business? Why are we all in business?
Make money.
It's make money. So you've got to make money is very emotional in sales and sales psychology. You've got to make it emotional to the developer, Mr. and Mrs. Developer. This is the property. This is where the demographics are. This is where your future developments are going to be. Would you like to get it today, or pay a fortune for it 5 years from now? You make it romantic. You give them information. You disseminate it to multiple sources through social media. You pick up the phone. You call people. You use realtors. You've got to be your own advertising department. If you're sitting around at home waiting for the phone to ring, it'll never happen. You bought it. That means that somebody else will buy it if they see the value in it. I've got another question here on there. What's your opinion on asking for order multiple times? I hate it. I find it annoying. Don't ask for the order, because then you sound like a chihuahua at the dinner table begging for steak. Make the prospect want to buy. The psychology of persuasion is to make that person want to buy, not to feel like you're shoving it down their throat. Or I hate that, and all the old sales books say this: ask for the order 5 times or more. No, I find that annoying. Rather, asking questions. Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, if you found a solution to your needs that we discussed today that met with your budget on a timely basis, what would you do next? You ask questions like that and do little baby steps towards the closing. And then you say, you know what, I've made a decision, which is an assertive way to close somebody. You say, I have a product, I have the service that I believe will satisfy your needs, that'll meet with your budget on a timely basis. I'd love to do business with you. How do you feel about that? I was ending a question. I ask a lot of questions. I don't say, well, the clock's ticking and the price goes up on Friday. That turns me off. And I think it turns off a lot of people because you're not treating them intelligently. And I think people want that stroking, nurturing. They want to work with someone they trust. What happens when you trust somebody?
It's everything.
It's everything in sales. It's everything. When you like that person, you trust them, and they're not trying to manipulate you with those tricky closings and stuff. That to me is a turnoff. I've had situations. Did you ever, either of you, have a situation where you knew you wanted to buy something, a TV, a car, an insurance policy, whatever, and you got to that old school manipulative, high pressure salesperson, and you just said, "Nah, forget it."
Yeah.
And you came into that store or that phone call, you were ready to buy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's always somebody else to buy it from.
Yeah. So Rod, learn the psychology of persuasion, learn the system of guts, learn how to ask questions, and make the prospect buy. Make the prospect into the salesperson, as I always say. And they'll give you the order on a silver platter.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you shove it down someone's throat, how many of us here have had our hearts broken? We thought we had a sale. We counted the money in our head. We had it spent already. Oh, I'm going to pay this bill. I'm going to take this vacation. And the next day you got that phone call. Well, we thought we better hold up. Really?
Yeah.
Really? Last week? Did it break your heart?
No. I mean, I've been around a little bit.
Breaks my heart.
The guy he was transacting without the knowledge of his wife, and he was late to our appointment, but she was, anyway, long story short, she found out, and that was that.
I love capital sales. I love, and I the way I speak to people, I never sell anything that I wouldn't buy myself or I don't believe in. Mm-hmm. And you've got to communicate to them. Hey, you're making a good decision here right now. You should buy this house. You need a place to live. I know it's a little bit of a struggle, but 5 years from now, it'll go up in value. You have your tax advantages and everything else, and you will be so happy you bought this home. But if you're not comfortable with this, I don't want you to do something. I don't want you, it's okay to say no to me. Would you rather say no right now, or would you rather get the house of your dreams and make some security for your retirement? You decide. Boom. So you see that, and everything, I never waste words. There's so much psychology in the art and science of persuasion. It's a secret sauce that only a few people understand and know. And once you have the power of using the right words the right way in the right format, you become a pretty secure, confident, and possibly wealthy person. Also, got another question here. What's the best car leasing company? I always go to the dealership. I let them take care of it. I use GMAC financing. I hardly pay anything. The rates are so reasonable right now, so low. I talked about that earlier in the broadcast today. I use the leasing company that's provided by the dealership because that's where I have the most power. At that, when I find a car I want and I'm negotiating a lease, I want to negotiate the best deal I can in one stop. I don't want to shop around for a separate leasing company, and that's just the way I do it. You have this little window of power. You're there. You're ready to do business. They want to make the sale. They want to make the commission. Utilize your power moment. I lease cars because I lease them through my corporation. It's not on my personal credit. It's on my corporation's credit. So always establish an LLC or an S or a C corp sooner rather than later, and build up the credit in that. You can get separate credit on your corporation, which is like double credit. You have your personal credit, you have your corporation credit, which is wonderful. You can borrow a lot more money. You have a lot more flexibility. I lease a car because I drive under 15,000 miles a year. If you're a person who drives 20, 30, or 1,000 or more a year, leasing is not for you. It's for somebody who has a corporation and drives, I would say, under 15,000 a year. It just makes sense for us. And, it's nice to get a new car every 2-3 years because you get new tires. Do you see what tires cost today?
Yes.
Oh my God. You know what 4 Michelin tires cost on a new car today? on a relatively good car. You're talking about anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a tire with balancing and all the stuff they do and the taxes and the excise tax and everything. You're talking a couple $1,000s to put new tires on a car. It's crazy, isn't it?
I just paid $400 for 2 tires,
Really?
including the installation.
That's pretty. That's pretty good, actually. $200 a tire.
Well, when I moved to Tennessee, the biggest thing I was concerned about was finding a mechanic and making sure that I could replace the one I had back home, because that's so important to me as a woman. And so I just made good friends with them, and I don't think they charge me much over whatever they're paying, and they're wonderful to me. So it's very important to make relationships with people in anything you do in life. I've learned that.
And car companies and tire companies and repair companies have a hard. That's one of women's greatest nightmares. True or false, Lynn?
True.
Because
until you find one that you know, like, and trust.
You can trust, because they always feel, oh, well, the men know all about this, but the women I can take advantage of in these things. And that's a big, big mistake in business.
Yes. I've never been taken advantage of, because I kind of set that tone up front, and I am very kind to them, and I don't know, they're always good to me, and I'm so grateful.
That's the company you will do business with repeatedly. And if somebody asks you for a good car company or tire company, you will refer them. That's good business.
Yep. Always. Yep.
That's just.
I thank them. Yeah. I give them presents. You know, I had a gas card once. I gave it to them. I don't care. Like, it's worth it to me.
I brought a present yesterday to my salesperson, and Claudia wrapped it up really nice in a nice box and everything. And I said, I'm so appreciative of the way you took care of me and everything. Here's a little gift for you from my wife. Last time I came 2 years ago, I bought 2 dozen bagels and coffee from Einstein Bagels for the whole dealership and everything. Yeah. Do you think they remember me?
Right. Oh, yeah. And it cost you like $50 or whatever. It's nothing.
It was nothing. It was
$30
something. It's little gestures that make people feel good. Mm-hmm. And they remember you. They treat you better. Mm-hmm. It's just so much more. It's just so. Do you ever have a day when you just want to lash out at somebody and everything? And if you can control yourself and say thank you more often than being critical, you'll get a lot more. What is it? Flies with honey is the expression.
Yeah.
It's just a better way to do business. I like customers. I like companies that just give me great customer service. If you give me a company that puts me with bad music on hold for 30 minutes, you're dead to me. You're gone, baby. Yeah. You're gone. AT&T, bye-bye, guys. You lost me years ago. I'm strictly Verizon now.
Who doesn't love when you walk into a place where you regularly do business and they know you by your name, and it's that cheers thing, and they go, you doing this today? Are we doing that again today? And you go, well, yeah, or today I think I'm going to. Got you.
Don't you? You go in a place and they say, Ben, how are you? How's the family? Man, hey, you want your favorite burger again? Or what?
Right.
Get you.
Right.
Just that little moment.
Glad you're here. The corned beef is awesome today.
Oh, yeah. What happens when you have the waiter or waitress that does that? And said, no, you don't want to get that. You don't want to get that. Get this. It's much fresher. It's much better. I had it for dinner myself. It's wonderful. Oh, thank you for taking care of me. When people add that little personal je ne sais quoi. What is it? Lynn, I know you're dying to jump in here.
Well, I actually have to run to a different 7 o'clock, so I got to jump off here, but I would love to answer them. But I'll see you on Monday.
I'll see you on Monday. Right. Thanks for joining. Beer with Claude.
See you Monday.
Thanks for your advice.
You're welcome. And everything. Yeah. She just sold a lot. She's trying to sell a lot of land in different places. Mm-hmm. And everything like that. Talked on some good. She said something very interesting. She said, I wrote it down. Did you tell me what I'm going to say, Ben? That one quote she said.
Oh, she does. Men need to be men.
Men need to be men. Oh God, that is. I like that. Is there anything wrong with that statement? I know it's probably offensive to somebody. I don't care. But is it okay for a woman to be a woman and a man to be a man? Are we different? Can we be different? Is it okay to be different?
We are.
We are.
We are.
Okay, we are.
Mhm.
And I'm not talking about a guy being macho or that BS.
No, we're just it is what it is for a reason.
It is what it is
We are
for a reason.
yeah.
Absolutely. I always go back to Martin Luther King. He said the most brilliant thing ever. Let's judge people by their character. Isn't that the most important thing?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a real good way to do business.
Mm-hmm.
I think one person who gives good phone, who knows how to speak to people and persuade. Okay, just practicing rehearsal spontaneity. I have a mind map on my desk here somewhere. Rehearsed spontaneity, which to a lot of people is really hard.
Yeah.
It's
when it says they make it look so easy. It's because they put the time. They're conditioned to make it look easy. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah. Did you ever go on a bad date and you did, and there was that silence, there was like, nobody knows what to say. Everybody's nervous and everything, and nobody knows what to say in sales or a blind date or a bad date or something. That uncomfortableness is like a second feels like hours. You know what I mean?
Oh, man. Yeah.
We had those moments. I think everybody dreads those moments in business or in person or in personal. So how do we overcome them? We practice. We rehearse our spontaneity.
That's right.
I go skiing a lot. I get on a chairlift with somebody. Some of these chairlift rides are, we're a big mountain down the street here in Winter Park, and you'll be on that chairlift with somebody for 12, 13 minutes. And it's kind of like it's weird. It's so quiet. So what usually I just start talking to people. Where are you from? How do you like it here? Gee, what's your favorite run? Where are you staying? Have you been to and they will, and I'd say about 75, 80% of people just start yakking to me.
Sure.
And it makes the ride go so fast and it's so much more fun. And can you practice those skills as I always say, when you go shopping or something like that? Can you interact with people and get them where they like and trust you? And then when you get really good at that, and then you apply it to your business. You make phone calls all the time. You tell everybody about your business. Give yourself a plug. We got a lot of people listening here.
I sell United States coins that are investment grade. And what that means is they are highest grade and lowest and limited mintage with a couple of other pedigrees. But yeah, and the thing there, Claude, that I've used lately in last night we went to a restaurant and half the party was not happy with their food. But I asked, and this I learned here at Guts, I asked the service person, not what do you recommend, what do you sell the most of? And I said, we sell a lot of this, we sell a lot of that. And then we go a little further. And I can tell right away. And they bring me something that's delicious, and the person next to me tastes it. And the next thing you know, that person is able to sell this table anything and everything. Everybody's like, yeah, we'll go with that wine. Let's get both.
That is a great question. So you say, what is your most popular dish?
Yeah.
I'll ask the waitress or waiter, gee, what do you like here? What do you eat here? If you were me, what would you have tonight? It's my first time here. I really trust your opinion.
And they will talk and they will take you there. And it's a good experience. And and like I said, many of the people at the table were not particularly happy with what I receive is more satisfying than most at my table. And that's because the way I approached it, which is something I've learned, not because I'm a genius.
What happens when you treat that wait person who may not be treated as well? They're on their feet, they're working real hard.
Service people are maxed out right now. It's a tough time to be in the service business.
Have you seen, that's a great topic. Have you seen are people really, have you noticed that people seem more stressed in your business?
Yeah. Yes.
I,
We're
I
all
think this,
affected.
I think this pandemic is really beating the crap out of people over the last.
Yeah.
It's almost 2 years. Think about it. 2 years.
No,
People
it
have
is
been
2 years.
restricted in their socialization. They've been told what to do, what to wear, where they can go, what they can't do. And boy,
And a whole lot of tough luck. Sorry, you're out. It hurts.
yeah. I'm glad I'm in Colorado right now. It's so
Me too.
people are so free and easy here. It's the old West here.
Yeah.
I'm up in the mountains here. It's neighbor helping neighbor kind of thing. Nobody's going to
Nice.
start nobody will start a fight with anybody out here for a mask.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're too
Very
polite. They're too nice about that. Couple of quick questions here. I said bad music on hold 30 minutes is standard. Not for me. Sorry. It's impossible to even speak to a human. I want a human being, and I'm sorry, maybe this is once again incorrect. I want a human being who can speak fluent English, because that's my language. That's my country. I want someone, I get people sometimes who don't understand the language or the culture, and it goes on too long, and I don't get my problem resolved. That's why I love Apple Care. I get all my computer stuff is from Apple. My daughter works for them, and they have great their customer service with Apple Care is usually I get someone on the phone talking to me, usually within 30 to 90 seconds. I like that. That's worth that little extra for me.
Yeah.
I use Verizon. Verizon, great customer service.
Stay with
Amazon,
them forever.
yeah, I'll be with them forever. Amazon, very good customer, and Walmart. Even right now, Walmart's really stepping up their game.
Yeah, you go to Walmart, it's packed.
Yeah,
Always.
have you seen Walmart online? Walmart's really trying to make a go against Amazon. Really good. So that's important to me. Last thing here before we go. Thank you, love it. I would never sell anything that I wouldn't buy myself. Thank you. Absolutely. I think people can sense when you believe in something, or when you're desperate, or when you have fear. I think they can sense when you're insincere.
They can over the phone. I'd stake my reputation on it.
They can do it over the phone. How much easier is it when we get on Zoom or FaceTime or Facebook or something live on video? How much better is it when you can look into someone's eyes? When you can see their facial expressions, where their hands are, and how much difference does that make it?
Massive.
Yeah, big thing here.
I'll give you the list. Yeah.
Go ahead, Ben.
It's a soft science, but that is said that the verbal is a fraction of the communication. It's how it's said, not what's being said.
Verbal though? Before we had all this video communication, when we were on the phone, do you think we listened better? We were more. I listened for those little words, or I listened for those. Do you ever ask somebody a question, and a simple question, and there's this long, pregnant pause? What's that tell you?
I think the longest pauses I've ever experienced, I experienced with one client last week. It was, serious test. Yeah, and in the end, it didn't go well. It said something. People who can tell you the way they see it and move right along. Those are always better transactions, and in the long run, better relationships.
Yeah.
Good or bad, they're going to tell you. And good or bad, you got to do the same. Like you did. Be accountable.
Yeah. I love when I hear a long, pregnant pause. That says to me that they're thinking of bullshit to get out of this or not be abrasive.
Most of the time, what else can it be?
What else could it be? They're thinking of, how do I get out of this? Well, I want to say something that won't embarrass me, or I don't have to make a commitment, which is why, going back to the gut sales method, great unorthodox, untraditional techniques of sales, where I say up front, please fire me. I don't want you to buy something you're not comfortable with, or it's not, works for your budget. I'm here to solve a problem. I'm going to ask you a few questions. You ask me a few. If we can do business, I love it. That's how I pay. That's how I take care of my family. But if it's not right for you, would you do me a personal favor and say no?
Yeah.
Man, I think that's real. When we go back to trust and stuff, I think that's pretty powerful shit. Have you ever met a salesman? I am still waiting. I am still waiting to meet the salesperson. It's Claude. I'm just here to help you solve your problem. You don't have to make a commitment. You don't have to buy. I'm not a high pressure guy. I'm here to help you and serve you. I'm still waiting to meet that salesperson. Have you ever met that person yet, Ben?
Not yet.
Still waiting, baby. Still waiting.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you love that kind of salesperson who said that with the gut salesperson here, this is what we do. This is how, totally honest. I mean, when you're that honest with people, guess what it does to them?
Yeah.
They're in shock.
Yeah.
It's like old grandma at the dinner table. You ever have an old grandma or aunt at the dinner table who says stuff?
No filter.
God, I don't believe she said that.
And it's good stuff.
It's good stuff. And Ben, you were a gentleman, and thank you for coming on for so long here. You have a wonderful weekend. And what's your phone number or webpage so people can find out about good investment gold and coins and things like that?
Yeah, 818-792-6991. As Claude does, I answer my own phone. Call me anytime, 818-792-6991. The U.S. Mint has run out of premium grade silver. Call me up. Let's chat.
Good long-term investment in these unknown high inflation times that are coming, right?
It's a hedge. It's a hedge for sure.
It's a hedge. Balance your
track record. Like residential real estate in California, it's got a track record, speaks for itself.
Exactly. Have a little bit in investment coins, a little bit in stock, a little bit in real estate. On a long-term basis, you'll be happy with all your investments. Don't watch the day-to-day stuff. It'll kill you.
Nah.
Have a good weekend, sir. Stay healthy and happy.
Likewise, my friend. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.